Hello, welcome back to another Libgdx tutorial. Last tutorial, we completed absolutely nothing. We just went over the basics of how to create a project, so we haven't actually written any code yet. So before we get started, I'd like to say that people watching this, I hope that you know object-oriented programming in Java. I assume that you know that. If you don't know that, then I suggest you study it. Maybe I'll make a video on it, maybe, probably not, because there's a lot of documentation on this kind of stuff. But yeah. Okay, so, assuming that you know stuff, let's move on. So Spritebatch. What is a Spritebatch? Spritebatch is basically the place where you put all your images. It's like your canvas, except not exactly your canvas, but pretty close to your canvas. And you have a bunch of images, which are called textures in this game, in Libgdx. And you take textures and you put them on your Spritebatch. You are taking images and putting them on your canvas. That's essentially what you're doing. And here you have this create method. This is where your application is created. It's just when your application starts, this thing runs once, and that's it. It just runs once. And this is where you would usually instantiate all your things. So yeah, this is just creating a new batch, and your image is getting the texture badlogic.jpg. And now let's go find that. Okay, so when you're dealing with assets in Libgdx, assets are your images and all your different things. I don't know what this is. Go away. Okay, your assets are the files where you store all like your images and things. They are in your assets folder inside of your Android application. Keep in mind Android. If you're trying to put stuff in your assets folder inside of your desktop, everything you drag into this assets folder will be deleted and like erased without any chance of getting it back, because it's connected directly to this folder. As you can see, there's a link icon right here. So make sure you always put your assets in the Libgdx folder. I mean the Android folder, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so you see this image, badlogic.jpg, it's right here. Same file name. But let's say I create a new folder, and I called it banana. Oh, I didn't spell banana right, and I put this file in there. You would get an error when you try and run your desktop launcher. You'll be like, whoa, couldn't load the file. So you have to get the exact path starting from this assets folder. So now it'll work after I save it. See, there we go. And keep in mind, yes, always put your assets in here, otherwise they will be erased. Okay, now let's get to your render method. This is called once every single frame, and let's separate it into something that will make logical sense. Okay, so these two lines, just let them be. Like this line, just let it be. You don't have to worry about it at all. Just make sure it's there. It just helps you reset and start the next frame, because you want to clear the screen and fill it with a new color every single frame. So if you look here, you can see these 4 numbers. These 4 numbers are the color of the background. You may have noticed that I changed it last tutorial. And it goes RGB, and I believe this is alpha. And it goes from 0 to 1. Unlike usually everything in Libgdx is done in floats instead of integers. So instead of doing 0 to 255 or 256, I can't remember, it's 0 to 1. So I can change it to 0.5 and 0.25. And when I run that, I'll get a different color, a green. Exciting. Okay, so just always leave this line of code there. just change the color in here. Okay, now your batch.begin. This is basically like, I don't know, unwrapping your canvas. That doesn't make sense. It's basically starting it. You just always put it. It gets everything ready so you can put images on. And then when you're done putting images on, you just tell it to stop. So you're like, begin, canvas, draw stuff. And then it'll draw stuff. And it'll be like, oh, okay, I'm done. And it'll be done. That's it. Alright. And this is where the image that you have up here, your badlogic.jpg, is being drawn. It's drawn at position 0, 0. And let's say I want to give it a width and a height. I can do 0, 0, 100, 100. Yeah, and that'll be cool. It'll be 100 by 100 with height. And you can see all the other methods, they're kind of crazy. There's so many different draw methods, as you can see. So you can rotate your textures, you can do whatever you like if you just read through and figure out what each of these does. But this is the standard one. The width and the height and the... Alright. So, yeah. Now there are a few things that you should know. Let's click Control and let's look at this class. Alright, these are all the different methods that you have that you basically have. You have a Dispose method, which basically all you have to worry about is the Dispose method, the Render method, and the Create method. At this point, that's all you have to worry about. So, let's add override public void dispose. And the Dispose method, let's figure out what it's called. I'm just going to do a sysout, and I'm going to say disposed, and I'll show you all when everything is disposed. And from there, I'll describe the logic. Look down here. When I click X, oh, it says disposed. So basically, this thing is run when you close your application. It's the opposite of create. It's when you throw it away. When you create images, you create space. Or no, you don't create space. You lose space in your memory. And so you got to dispose all your things. So you have to img. So I want to get rid of this image because I'm done with it. My application's closed. I don't need it anymore. So I dispose my image, and then you also have to dispose my batch. And because I don't want my batch anymore. So that's it. And yeah, that's it for this second part of the Libgdx tutorial. And I'll see you guys in the next one where we'll go into more depth and we'll start figuring out how different things work and optimal ways to make games, because that's what I like to do, make games. Alright, also check out Spanked Jalapeno. It's on Google Play. Download it if you want. Don't download it, I don't really care. Just be cool if you did. Yeah, that's all I got. Over and out.